And guests, please rise for the invocation followed by the Pledge of Allegiance.
Dear Lord, thank you for this beautiful day in Berry County. Thanks for the opportunity to serve our citizens here. Give us good wisdom and to make good decisions. We ask you to be with all the first responders out there, keep them safe and in your care. And thank you for this beautiful day. In Jesus' name, amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Attendance. For the purposes of attendance, the clerk will call the roll.
Connor?
Here.
Geiger?
Here.
Gibson?
Here.
Jackson?
Here.
Parker?
Here.
Smelker?
Here.
Wayne?
Here. Approval of the written agenda. At this time, any commissioner or member of the public may ask for an item to be removed from the consent agenda and placed under items for consideration.
Madam Chair, I'd like to move item B on items of consideration to be after the consent items so that Carla can make her next meeting at 10:30.
Second.
There's a motion by Gibson, second by Smelker, to move item B from items for consideration to before the presentation. Is there any discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. The item is approved. So do we need to pass we amended the agenda, do we need to pass the amended agenda then?
Without objection.
Thank you. Reports from state and county officers. Don't see any. Limited public comment. At this time, any member of the public wishing to address the board may do so for up to 3 minutes.
Good morning.
Morning.
Ken Kirsch from the Animal Shelter, and this is my partner in crime, Tim Gavin. And in front of you, you'll have our flyer. We're doing. I want to let everybody know about our concert. We're hosting on Saturday at the American Legion out there in M37. We're raising money to purchase a new van. And as you know, since I've been here, I took on the old sheriff's department van, which didn't work out for me very well. So we're doing a fundraiser now to get another van in addition to this one that's going to work out better for us. We started this project in April, and it's through the advisory board, the Berry County Animal Shelter Advisory Board, led by Dave Jackson. And we've got Amp Rage, which is a local cover band that's going to be playing outside. It's going to be an outdoor concert. We've got items that you can bid on. You can buy some tickets and take the ticket and put it in a dog bowl and hopefully win a dog bed or some treats or a dog house or something. And we're selling hot dogs, hamburgers, soft drinks, popcorn, and we're going to have quite a bit of fun out there. We're going to have a nice concert going on. The music's going to kick off at 2, and the music will end somewhere around 4:30. So I encourage everybody that wants to come on out and help us out. It's going to be a lot of fun. I can tell you to date, for this project, our goal was to raise $20,000 before the concert Saturday. We've raised $11,364 for this van. So we're hopefully we're going to get there. So we one of the things we did a bake sale at Tractor Supply. We made $2,177 at a bake sale. And we weren't selling anything illegal. I'm just telling you right now. But
You got a van, rock music.
Yeah, I know.
selling brownies.
Mustache, I get it. I can see what it looks like. That's why I just want to,
Hey, it's working. Keep going.
Yeah, all right. But we had a little lady come out to stop at the Tractor Supply, and she wrote a check for $100. I said, wow, that's pretty nice for some cookies. And she goes, well, today at Thornapple Valley Church, there's a big event, and she was responsible for all the desserts. So she goes, you guys are the greatest people I ever met. I said, well, come on back,
And then we had some leftover items, and the inmates at the shelter, we took all of them up there for, I don't know how many made it there, but at least that's what was going on. So I just wanted to let you know what we were doing and encourage, see if you're interested in coming on out and having a good time. Okay?
Thank you, sir.
You bet.
Any other limited public comment this morning?
Charles Crammond from Hastings, and I think the county board needs to help solve the problems on Crooked Lake flooding, and they need to come up with a plan, and the plan then will allow you to apply for funds through the DNR and the Clean Waters Act, and I would suggest that Plan B something that involves gravity and less expense, but the original cost would be more. And that route be from the Watson drain down M43. You wouldn't have to purchase any land. That it could enter Gull Lake at Prairieville Creek to get the support of the Gull Lake people for the clean waters is a tube underneath Gull Lake to the dam, which it would then flow to Kalamazoo River. And that's a gravity flow, I believe. It may be some deep cups, but I think that's the route that needs to be done to get the problem solved. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other comment this morning? Hearing none. Various correspondence. Does any commissioner have any correspondence to share with the board? Moving along. Consent items.
Madam Chair, I'd move for approval of July 9th, 2019 Board of Commissioners meeting minutes.
Second.
Moved by Gibson, support by Smelker, to approve the items listed under the consent agenda. Discussion is not allowed and a roll call vote is required. The clerk will call the roll.
Connor,
Yes.
Geiger,
Yes.
Gibson,
Yes.
Jackson,
Yes.
Parker,
Yes.
Smelker,
Yes.
Wayne.
Yes. The consent agenda is approved.
Madam Chair, I'd move to approval of the 2020-2022 multi-year plan for Regional 3B Area Agency on Aging, DBA Carewell Services Southwest. Roll call, please.
So,
A second.
motion by Gibson, second by Connor, for the approval of the 2020 to 2022 multi-year plan for the Region 3B Area and Agency, DBA Carewell Services Southwest.
Carla is here if you...
Is there discussion? Carla, do you have any information for us?
Good morning.
Morning.
Good to see you all. You did receive a copy of the plan, I believe, and a couple items I want to highlight for you, as well as just remind us of process. The multi-year plan covers older adult services for Berry and Calhoun County. It's required under the Older Americans Act as well as through our state office, Aging Adult Services of Michigan. And county commissions, the rules say I have to mail this to you. It stops there. The responsibility or choice that commissions have is to either approve it actively through a vote. You can also disapprove it. That's never happened. Let's not do that. Or you can not do anything, and the state considers that passive approval. So I do like to come each year and just give you some highlights from the plan, give you some ideas and some things that we're doing in Calhoun County and how they impact older adults and how we work within the county. And so the Area Agency on Aging, which is Carewell Services designation, does serve Berry and Calhoun counties. on your handout that you have on page 3, there was a couple things I wanted to point out to you real quick because it does impact sort of our focus in terms of older adults and the work that we're doing. 2 times ago, we started to look at the population of older adults versus children in both of our counties. And 3 years ago, we had anticipated that Calhoun County's older adult population would surpass its 18 and under population by 2016. Well, Berry County got there first. Currently in Berry County, or this is 2016 numbers, says that we have 25% 60 and over population. We have 22.6 children under age 18. So we currently have more older adults in our county than kids. That really becomes impactful as we look at population projections over time because the workers, the care providers for older adults are going to be those kids coming up as they seek employment. A couple other numbers to consider. We have a high number of older adults in our community, about 40%, that live 185% or less of poverty. So that's a large number of folks, and that's a consideration. We also have a pretty high number of folks who live alone, which does impact their ability to gain services. There's a lot of focus right now on the impact of isolation and health, and so it's something that we're looking at. In the plan, if you start on page 4, it talks about the things that we're going to be doing. If there's items there that are of interest or that you have some either in your work or through your constituencies, areas that you'd like to share with us, we'd be glad to talk to you about those different areas. A couple things in Berry County focuses over the next 3 years is our elder abuse work group. We work with the Commission on Aging on that. Tammy leads that group and we participate there. We're also collectively with the Commission on Aging launching a coalition to address dementia-friendly communities. Dementia is one of our upcoming public health risks for older adults. And so we're going to be bringing together many different folks from the community. You need people from business, people from health, people from the community, people living with dementia as well as their caregivers, as well as providers. We also have a partnership that integrates health services with primary care and hospital services. If you were at the fair this week, you saw our very large RV called the Kiosk, where we're doing some mobile health services from that. And some of that's that isolation piece of we want to go where people are. And so we're deploying that throughout the community. We also are working on efforts to expand access to senior centers. We've consistently increased the funding for senior centers over the past couple of years. We really feel that that's an important underutilized resource in our community, and so anything we can do to help support that effort is important. In looking at the population, our focus areas over the next 3 years are going to be older adults in rural areas, those living in isolation. We're also looking at marginalized persons, veterans especially. We have a large veteran population here, and so we have some efforts around that. One of them is called the Veterans Community Action Team. It's a group that serves the needs of older adults, veterans as well as older adults in an 8-county region, and so we're engaging with that as well. So one of the things with our plan is we work cooperatively with the Commission on Aging. That's how we function. Area agencies on aging are the mandated focal points. However, the Older Americans Act requires that we work as local as possible. And so in a community where we have a very strong Commission on Aging, we don't want to step in front of them. We generally try to walk beside or cheer from the back if that's what's needed. And so that's how we operate in Berry County. We try to make sure that any effort that we're doing, that the Commission on Aging is aware of it, look for ways that we can support them, whether it's supporting fundraisers or initiating programs. Tammy is a strong advocate for what's needed in Berry County, and we look to her leadership as we try to set these plans. And Vivian serves on our advisory council, and we appreciate her input. Hoots was there for years and years, and I still go to him when I'm looking for guidance, and so we appreciate the active participation that we have from folks in Berry County, and we certainly look for more. If people want to share what's needed in the community, that's what we're here for. I look forward to any questions you might have, as well as your active support of our 3-year plan.
Any questions for Carla?
Thank you for your presentation. To go back to the support for Commission on Aging services, our biggest need in this county in terms of Commission on Aging is an adequate facility. Can your organization provide support for capital investment, or is there an opportunity to partner for some grants?
We can't directly, but if there's ways that we can help facilitate that, we're certainly supportive. One way, probably the only way we could support capital investments, and Tammy would have to probably help me in terms of how they've spent this money, but we do have one category called state alternative care, that only 50% of it has to be spent on services. The rest can be spent on something capital. And our question is always, does it improve the health and wellness or safety of older adults? And if they can answer that question, then they can do that. The challenge there is, I know many times our adult daycare, they want to focus on the services they provide, and so they often use that money to provide more services. And we certainly have a need. I can't be any more supportive of that concept, particularly when you talk about Alzheimer's and dementia. You know, they only have 9 available slots. We could use so much more to address the needs of persons with dementia, because that has a domino effect. Somebody's caring for that person who may or may not be able to work because they're caring for that person. It affects the kids that sometimes are living in those multi-generational homes. So I can't be more supportive. If I could, I'd write a really big check to make it happen, but we'd certainly look at any ways we can support that effort.
All right, thank you.
Any other questions for Carla? Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Is there any other discussion? So the motion was made by Gibson, supported by Connor, for the approval of the 2020 to 2022 multi-year plan for the Region 3B area on agency on aging, also known as Carewell Services Southwest. I need a roll call, please.
Geiger,
Yes.
Gibson,
Yes.
Jackson,
Yes.
Parker,
Yes.
Smoker,
Yes.
Connor,
Yes.
Wayne.
Yes, the item is approved. Thank you for indulging our change. Next on our agenda, we have presentations, and we will start with the presentations for the Employee Service Awards. So, our first presenter today is April Staines. Is she here?
Right here.
There she is. April is standing in for Barb Hurlis today.
Good morning.
Morning.
Today is my privilege to introduce Bindi Shoemate. Bindi is the abstractor in the Register of Deeds office. And today we're celebrating her 5 years of service. Bindi is a very dedicated employee. Bindi is hardworking, friendly to all, very helpful, and always has a smile. She handles the workload of 1.5 employees without ever complaining. Those who have served with Bindi describe her with words like dedicated, pleasant, hardworking, team player, and kind. Madam Chair, for those reasons, her 5 years of service, I ask that the Board of Commissioners recognize Bindi Shoemate.
Bindi Shoemate, for your 5 years of service, please accept this token of our sincerest respect and admiration. I'll pop there,
Thank you.
You're welcome. Now you might want to turn to Rebecca and get your picture. Our next presenter is Tammy Pennington.
Good morning.
Morning.
Good morning. Today, it's my privilege to introduce Diane Neeb. Diane is our Adult Day Center coordinator at the Commission on Aging and is celebrating her 15th anniversary. Diane came to the Commission on Aging after a 26-year career as a floor nurse at Pennock Hospital, and she came to design and create a new adult day center to serve caregiving families of Alzheimer's and dementia patients. Diane single-handedly took on the challenge of writing all the policies and procedures, developing the assessment practices, designing care plans, and hiring staff. In the 15 years that she has led the program, she has become a highly respected expert in the community on the issues of Alzheimer's and dementia care, offering struggling families hope and the opportunity to keep their loved ones at home. Diane is a skilled manager who leads a team of 5 caring nurses and aides who work together with purposeful passion to make life better for everyone in Barry County who is facing these difficult issues. Those who have served with Diane describe her with words like dedicated, compassionate, highly skilled, motivated, and inspiring. Madam Chair, for these reasons and her 15 years of service, I ask that the Board of Commissioners recognize and commend Diane Neeb.
Diane, for your 15 years of service, we offer this certificate of our appreciation.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next is Tammy Price with our next 2 honorees.
Good morning. Today it is my privilege to introduce Brenda Morgan. Brenda is a specialty court caseworker in our adult specialty courts, and she is celebrating her 10th year of service. Brenda is very dedicated to her job and to helping the participants who she works with reach their potential. Brenda is not afraid to hold participants accountable, but she's also the first one to praise them for their success. She goes the extra mile to help others and has earned the reputation of being honest, straightforward, and helpful with participants. Brenda's coworkers recognize her dedication and solid work ethic and can testify to her caring heart. Brenda often works behind the scenes to brighten a coworker's day, often with chocolate or with flowers. The participants she works with have also witnessed her caring heart. They often comment that their initial impression of her is that she's out to get them because she holds them accountable. But by the end of the program, they are grateful, often in tears, for what she has done for them, and many of them stay in contact with her and seek her advice after they leave our programs. Brenda is a valuable asset to all our program staff and participants. Those who serve with Brenda describe her with words like hard worker, dedicated, passionate, determined, and understanding. Madam Chair, for the reasons and for her 10 years of service, I ask that the Board of Commissioners recognize and commend Brenda Morgan.
For your 10 years of service, is it right, 10? Yeah. Please accept this with as much admiration and respect as we can give somebody who deals with the clients that you deal with.
Thank you.
Thank you for your
Also, today it is my privilege to introduce Michelle Wheeldreyer. Michelle is a specialty court caseworker in our specialty courts and is celebrating her 20th year of service. Michelle is vital to our adult specialty courts office. She does a great job of helping her participants build happier, healthier, and more productive lives, and she quietly steps in without prompting to help coworkers succeed as well. Michelle is quick to notice when coworkers are feeling stressed or frustrated, and she always seems to know just what is needed to help. She's notorious for organizing the work area of her coworkers, and Michelle brings much laughter to the office with her humor and shenanigans. The program participants who work with Michelle quickly come to realize that she is in their court and will work hard for them to give them the tools that they need to succeed. Many participants return to visit Michelle long after their release from probation. Michelle is humble, and she would never brag about her work, but she has changed the lives of many people through her work, both in our court and juvenile court. Berry County is lucky to have Michelle, and we are grateful to have her on our team. For those who have served with Michelle, they describe her with words like funny, friendly, OCD, helpful, and understanding. Madam Chair, for those reasons and her 20 years of service, I ask that the Board of Commissioners recognize and commend Michelle Wheeldryer.
So please accept this token as a symbol of our respect and admiration for all that you do for Berry County. Thank you for your service. So our next presentation, the presenter couldn't be here, and neither could the honoree, but I'm going to honor him anyways, because it's due. Today, it's my privilege to honor Tim Neeb as the Director of the Buildings and Ground Department and celebrating his 20th year of service. Tim oversees a very dedicated and extremely hardworking staff of 4 1/2 full-time individuals who provide building maintenance, custodial services, and grounds care for numerous historic buildings, including arguably the most iconic historic building in the county, the historic county courthouse. Tim takes great care and personal pride to ensure that these historic treasures, along with our more modern structures, are well maintained and cared for so that they continue to serve Berry County's employees and citizens well into the future. Those who have served with Tim describe him as knowledgeable, helpful, professional, reliable, and honest. For these reasons and his 20 years of service, I ask that the Board of Commissioners recognize and commend Tim Neeb. So, and he does have a certificate and it is signed. It's not like getting your diploma without an autograph.
Yeah.
So I think we've all been affected by Tim's work, and just about daily. So he's very appreciated.
Tim, we know you don't miss an episode of this county board, so thank you.
All
Joke.
right. It is 9:30. Do we need to take a break before we
Yeah,
move on?
I think, Madam Chair, if we could take a short break so we could have a photo op with our
Sure.
honorees.
What's 10 minutes?
Got your back.
Yeah, you do.